Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for September 2024. Let me just fix this. There we go. You start off with this time for a nap card, and you're a Leo. You're a cat, so you probably are napping all the time. You have this a change in the wind, so there could be some sort of change that is coming in for you. Let's see what is going on for you. I feel like you're conflicted about some sort of something with that Five of Wands. The Five of Wands can represent like conflict or competition. I look at the Five of Wands as a card of learning because they're using wands to fight. They're not using swords. So they are learning how to fight. And really it is a card of like education, in that sense. But then you go up to the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords can represent a victory, believe it or not. So, most people look at the Five of Swords as conflict or separation or, walking away from something. But, he is the winner, the guy at the front of the card. So, it can represent kind of a win. Usually it represents winning at all cost. And maybe some of you feel like you have had to do something to win at all cost, but, we'll see where this is going, and that'll be that. So you have the World, the Five of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. This would represent getting out into the world, which I feel like I say to you in almost every single reading. You also have the Three of Wands. It's definitely time for you to go on some sort of adventure or to change up your routine. Maybe you have become too routine, or maybe you have been stuck in too much of a routine. And, this type of energy, World, Five of Wands, Four of Pentacles, holding on too tightly to where you are. And so this could literally mean traveling, moving, but it doesn't have to. It could just say that, maybe you have a certain routine that needs a shake up because it will put you into the world in a different way. This could also represent needing to get out and do stuff. Maybe you need to join a spin class or maybe you need to do something so that you can meet new people, right? And really there's no good reason for it other than variety is a spice of life. So, I kind of get that feeling that just doing something new or doing something different could open up a whole new world to you, and I think that would be very beneficial. You have the Five of Wands, again, conflict and competition. I think you need to learn more from your competition or whatever. So if you have a business or career, or, if you're trying to get something, even if you're trying to get love, right? Maybe there are things, maybe there are people in your life who have love, but maybe if you look at what they are doing, you don't do any of those things, right? So it can sometimes, it's not so much about, competition. It's obviously, unless you're in love with your best friend's boyfriend or whatever, I don't know what goes on out here on these streets nowadays. It's freaking crazy, right? But whatever, right? I'm not here to judge. You do you. So maybe they are your competition, but maybe they're not. But it's what did they do to get that person, and what aren't you doing, right? And it's not about comparing yourself. Like I always say, don't compare yourself to other people, but it's not a bad thing to necessarily look at what's being done and make the changes. Same thing in work or business. It's if you're not growing, but someone else is, it's what do they do differently than you, and how can you implement it, for yourself? You have the Four of Pentacles. Again, Four of Pentacles, very Leo card because, Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to the way things have been done. I think I said to you several readings ago that the biggest challenge for Leo, I believe, moving forward is kind of the thought that things should be a certain way. And again, I'm not calling you out, although I kind of am, right? So what I would say is, you might have certain ideas in your head, oh, this is how my business should be, but it's not. Or this is how love should be, but it's not. And it's not about, it's not saying that you can't have the things that you want, but it's saying that your brain or you could be saying to yourself that there are these rules that should exist, but it's not how the world works. So the Four of Pentacles is really about saying, you know what, things have changed. We're in a different time, and we just have to play by different rules. And so I think the Four of Pentacles is encouraging you to be flexible in the world with the World card here, and just say, you can still find something that you want or desire, but maybe you're just going to have to go about it in a different way. With the World, you have the Four of Swords, time for a nap. You have that time for a nap card. If you need a nap, take a nap. If you need to rest, relax, recover, take some time to rest, relax, recover. With the Five of Wands, you have the Sun, best card in the deck. So, the Five of Wands the Sun kind of makes the reading a little bit more positive, and it's shining a light on you. It is your card, so it puts you in a position of power and strength, and yeah, just like a really good card for the reading. What I don't like necessarily is the moon showing up here. I don't really like when a reading goes from the sun to the moon, because it can say that you're entering into a moon period. A moon period is a period of time where there is like a lack of clarity on what you need to do. I'm not too worried about it because we go up to the nine of Pentacles, we go over to the 10 of Cups here. So again, I think that really it's probably not that big of a deal. What I would say is that this is some sort of disagreement, or, just like I feel this intuitively, that some of you are either dealing with a person where there's a disagreement. This could be like in work or business, I feel, because of the 9 of Pentacles there. It's like 9 of Pentacles is you, right? So I just see you as being a Leo, as like wanting to take the lead and wanting to be in a leadership position and not wanting someone to step on your toes. There's like a little bit of control going on here as well. And so, this right here, just intuitively, I feel this could be like a difference of opinion, or, a person who thinks that you're controlling, even if you're not like, I'm not saying you're controlling, but, maybe you have certain ways that you like things done, especially in work or business. And this could be a person who either is causing a problem or did cause a problem because they see things differently than you do. So I kind of feel like some of you have dealt with that. This could also be, again, the need to learn, if this is love, the sun and the moon don't really work well together in a love connection usually. So this could be a past connection that taught you something, and the 5 of Wands would just say, like, what is a lesson that you learned? With the 4 of Pentacles, you have the Empress. Yeah, I don't know. Money looks good, or, I think you could be focusing on increasing your abundance at this time as well. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this record card and you have this request card. So I think for some of you, you need to make a request to the universe, and maybe you need to create a record or record whatever it is that you are requesting from the universe. I also get the feeling that some of you need to take a little bit of a risk, which I'm pretty sure comes up for you all the time as well, Leo. I mean, really, let's put it this way. You have the 5 of Swords, 3 of Wands, and the Moon. It's like the 5 of Swords is my card of taking a risk sometimes, not always, but sometimes. 3 of Wands says you have to get out on those boats. The Moon says you have no clue what's going to happen. That's life, right? We never really know what's going to happen if we enter into anything. And so I think that some of you need to take a risk. For some of you, I feel this is clearly financially motivated with that 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is super easy. It just says, if you are grateful for what you have, 9 of Pentacles says you have the skills. We'll talk about this more in a minute. But 9 of Pentacles is also about your focus. It just says, if you are focusing on what you're doing, you will get what you want. So really, I don't think this is much of a risk at all. You have the 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands says, what are you waiting for? The story of the 3 of Wands is that he's looking at that water, and it's golden in color, and he's looking at it, and at first he thinks he's looking at the desert, but when he looks closer, he sees those ships, and he realizes that he's looking at water. He realizes that there's an opportunity in front of him. When you think about it, there's basically no opportunity in the desert. Nothing can grow in the desert, but it's actually water. So, again, I think that something that you're thinking about probably has more potential than you realize, but you have, what are you waiting for is kind of what this card says. I think that some of you are waiting for answers with the Moon card. The Moon is casting illusions. The Moon, when you go outside on a full moon, the Moon is, on a full moon, the Moon is casting shadows all over the place. It's like you can see, but some of the things you see might not be real. And so the Moon is about continuing on this journey no matter what. The Moon comes up, the Moon goes down, the Sun comes up. So for a lot of you, it's kind of about realizing that the period of time where you won't have answers does not last forever. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey. The Fool has to go down that path on the Moon. Nowhere on the Moon does it say stop. It says keep going, and you will eventually reach your goal in the background there. The Moon has also some pretty good solutions, one being the dog and the wolf, the dog and the coyote, whichever you prefer. It kind of represents balancing out your wild side and your domestic side, and kind of with that 4 of Pentacles, for whatever reason, that 4 of Pentacles is saying to me in your reading, it's like the way things should be, right? It's like you have these thoughts of the way that something should go in your life. I feel like the Moon is saying you need to embrace more of the wild side and embrace the idea that, sometimes things are a risk and sometimes things go sideways, sometimes things go the right way as well. But really, it's how we adapt to the situation that gets us to the goal, right? So I think the moon is kind of really talking about, evolving through something, meaning you're starting a journey or stepping off on a new path. Could be anything. I'm speaking very generally here because I feel like this reading is really talking about everything in your life. And the moon just says you have to start the journey and evolve through it and not give up, right? You have to keep going forward. Here you go. With the Five of Swords, you have the Emperor. Some of you could be taking a risk on an Emperor or an Empress, whichever you prefer. Or maybe you feel like you lost an Emperor or an Empress, whatever it is. If you lost someone, again, I would look at the lesson that you learned from that situation. I think that's how you will get the benefits from the situation. For others, I feel it's about taking a risk. With the Three of Wands, you have the Star. Love it. That makes things a little bit more positive, for sure. The Sun and the Stars, like fame and fortune, it doesn't necessarily, mean that you're going to become famous or anything like that, but it is very good for getting attention. And so is the Empress as well. So if you have like a job or a business, I think it would be an amazing time for you to like step into light, and also more displays is like what I'm hearing here. So it's like maybe you need to like put more of your work into the world or display what you do more. With the Moon, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Moon could actually be an opportunity, and the Moon is an opportunity where, again, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. The answer is the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles says, well, the outcome will be how much energy you give to something. With the Ace of Pentacles, it's an opportunity that only has potential, and potential means nothing. So with the Ace of Pentacles has this garden right here, and I always say that garden kind of represents what we have to do with the Ace of Pentacles. We get an opportunity, we have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight, get rid of the bugs. We have to, do all those things. We have to, exactly what I said with the Moon, we have to evolve with something as it's changing. So I think for a lot of you, this is actually like a big opportunity that's coming your way, but there are going to be changes. There are mountains at the back of the Moon card. There are mountains right there above my finger on the Ace of Pentacles. The mountains can represent an obstacle, but really, the mountains in the tarot represent an achievement. I always say, where do you get the best views? At the top of a mountain. So this is going to be a mountain that's worth climbing. And again, this doesn't have to be a struggle, right? It's not saying that some opportunity is going to be a struggle. It's just saying that it's going to require work. You have in the area of what's coming, messages from your future self. You have the Spider Spirit says, make your dreams real. You have the Seahorse that says, watch and wait. So clearly, there's going to be an opportunity for you to manifest some sort of dream. The spider reminds us of needing to follow a process, right? Like a spider has to weave a web before it can catch its bugs. So I think for a lot of you, this is about either discovering a process or executing a process, following a process so that you can get what you want. You have the Four of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Wands. The Four of Swords, again, is resting, relaxing, recovering, or healing. I think, based off the Four of Swords twice and the time for a nap card, it could be a great time for you to almost do nothing. Sometimes that is the answer. Sometimes taking a nap could provide more answers. Sometimes going for a walk will provide more answers. So I think that taking care of yourself is going to be important. You have the Four of Cups. Sometimes I feel with the Four of Cups that we've been disappointed too many times with something, and it can make it very hard for us to want to do something again, right? And so that's how I feel about the Four of Cups. It's like you're getting a new offer or a new opportunity. Could be anything, love, business, or otherwise, doesn't matter. And I think you've been disappointed before. And so the Four of Cups kind of says, get over it, right? The Four of Cups says that you should accept that cup. And I look at the Four of Cups as needing to mix those four cups together. It's kind of like you've manifested the ingredients for something great. But if you mix what you have learned together, then you will have success this time. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about following your enthusiasm and doing something, that you feel excited about. It's about going on the adventure to follow your heart. And we go right over to the Ten of Cups. So, this really says to me like some sort of new adventure that's being presented to you could be something that's very fulfilling or make you very happy. Ten of Cups is kind of like fortune after difficulty. It can represent good things happening after a difficult period of time. With the Four of Swords, you have the Page of Wands. Maybe you have been resting, relaxing, recovering, and this could say it's time to focus on something new, or it's time to start moving towards something new. With the Four of Cups, yes, you have the Knight of Wands. Basically what I just said. Knight of Wands is the adventurer, so you are clearly going on an adventure. What did this card say again? Oh yeah, record, right? So yeah, I think that there could be a change. You have that change in the wind card. The Knight of Wands would be, moving towards a change. The Knight of Wands also really doesn't know like where he's going. I look at him as a true builder in the tarot. So if he's starting a new journey, he might not know what he needs for his journey, but he will build it as he goes. So I think that a lot of you could be, about to do something where it's like you don't have all the details, Moon, but you will figure it out. With the Page of Wands, you have the Hangman. Yes, you've already figured it out, is what this would say. You have a lot of enlightenment here. Sun, Star, and the Hangman. The Hangman is hanging from this tree of knowledge and wisdom, and his head is glowing. So this kind of says that you have learned what you have needed to learn for your journey, and it's time to move forward. You've waited long enough. Sometimes I feel with the Hangman that, again, he could be waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment, so the time is now. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this moon called. It says meant to be on it. You have the moon's reflection. It says accept responsibility. We kind of have been saying that in this reading. And I feel like you are. Like you are accepting responsibility, for the things that you are doing. And I also feel like there is something that's meant to be in your life. You have the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. Nine of Pentacles, again, she has this falcon right here. And it's all about your focus and what you focus on. So your focus is going to be really important. A lot of people have been getting cards of focus in this set of readings for September. So, it could just be a collective energy for the month of September that we will all get what we focus on. And so I think that it's important that you do focus on what you want. Again, one thing I will say is that Pluto is officially moving back into Capricorn. It's been at 0 degrees on the cusp of Aquarius and Capricorn for a while, and it's retrograding back into Capricorn now. So it's retrograding back to 29 degrees, which is considered to be a critical degree. And, again, kind of like a weird energy, right at the beginning of September. So what I would say is focus on exactly what you want. Make sure that you are focusing on new opportunities as well. I always say that I think the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is the death of establishment. So for the fixed signs, you being one of them, kind of letting go of what has always been established is a challenge. And I would make sure that you are evolving, upgrading your path, doing new things. The Nine of Pentacles really says you have all the skills necessary to do all of what I just said. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords and the good stuff, obviously, would be moving on to calmer shores. So you are heading towards improvements and probably bigger and better things as well. You have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is happy home, happy family. If you want love or you have love, this could be very good. And again, you do have the Emperor and the Empress in this reading, so there could be love coming in for you. The Ten of Cups is, again, fortune after difficulty. So for the most part, I kind of feel, yeah, there's love here, whatever. But, what I would say is I feel like this reading is all about you. And all the readings this month, have pretty much been about the person I'm reading for. I feel more of that energy, I would say. That does not mean that you won't have love if you want it. I'm just saying that I think they've really been more about focusing on yourself, which again, when you focus on yourself and you make your life the best you possibly can, then naturally you probably will attract love if that's what you want, right? With the Nine of Swords, or Nine of Pentacles, sorry, you have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is, of course, about third place solutions. You always get the Two of Swords with me. But the good news is it's coming up in the good stuff. So I feel like you are seeing the calmer shores, right? She has choppy waters behind her, and then these are the calmer shores. So with that Six of Swords, it's like you're moving across those choppy waters. With the Six of Swords, you have the Two of Wands. Yes, I think you've made the decision to leave something behind, whatever it is, something challenging or something that's complete, and now you're opening up to the world. Remember what I said at the beginning of the reading? It's almost like you are, I don't know if you're creating a new world for yourself necessarily, but, I think you could if you wanted to. And the Two of Wands is about taking the lead and making that happen. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. Here you go. We go Five of Swords down to the Five of Swords with the Ten of Cups. Some of you might need to take a risk on your own happiness, as in you need to take a risk that will make you happy, right? Sometimes I think we are a little bit afraid of happiness, right? Because what if we lose it? So, what I mean, I've seen it happen. I literally just said this to someone else. I've seen it happen so many times where it's people start making more money, or they find love, and then they do something to sabotage it because they're like, what if I lose this? And then by worrying about losing it, they lose it, and they create what they didn't want in the first place. So I feel this is saying, get comfortable in happiness, or get comfortable in doing things that do make you happy. You have this boot. It says increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. Yes, what I would say is like the biggest pain in the ass of September is going to be work. Like anything that we want to do, just put in like 10% more, right? Don't kill yourself. Don't do too much, but I would say do a little bit extra, because it will pay off big time. But this month there is kind of like a vibe that we're going to have to put in maybe just like a little bit more. You have this kangaroo. It says unsettled times need to plan ahead. Yeah, I would say between like now and 2033, I think there's going to be weird stuff going on all over the place. And, I don't know. I would just keep your head on straight. Stay focused on what you want with the Nine of Pentacles. You have this desk. It says pay attention to your work. Yeah, and the other thing I would say to you, Leo, that I always get, it's not really showing up in this reading, but it has shown up in your past readings. Like, make sure you're paying attention to what is working. Like, do you actually know what is working in all areas of your life? If you can't answer that question, then I would definitely do some research and figure out like what works, what doesn't, and double down on the good stuff. You have this ant. It says work, achievement, success. Ants can lift many times their body weight. So if you do put in the work, I feel like you will be kind of creating much bigger results than you realize, probably because you're able to create more, you're able to carry more. You have this boat. It says money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. So money is actually looking like it's improving here, and there could be more opportunity. It's funny that it's a boat. You have the world, the Three of Wands with the boats. So, again, making some sort of change or going on an adventure in regards to your money. An adventure could be learning something new and implementing it in your business or your career. That's just one example. Could increase your finances. But pretty interesting here, Leo. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.